Thank you, Reverend Robinson. I very much appreciate that. Welcome to the 18th annual Charleston County Industry Appreciation Event. I'd ask you to go ahead and begin eating. We're going to move our schedule along. Each year, it's my great pleasure to share our many accomplishments that your companies have garnered, as well as the department initiatives we have going on. In 2021, as the pandemic entered the second year, our community showed resiliency and grit as we pushed ahead with the economic recovery. As the recovery unfolded, our department fulfilled your mission and assisted many of your companies as you relocated or expanded. This created some historic accomplishments that we'll share with you a little later today. We have a great program in store for you today. We're going to celebrate remarkable achievements by your companies. We're going to honor 3 companies with the Charleston County Impact Award. We're going to present the Charleston County Ambassador for Economic Development Award for 2021. We're going to receive an exciting update from one of our newest corporate citizens, Breeze Airlines. And we're going to enjoy a provocative discussion by a dynamic speaker panel this afternoon made up of our workforce development allies. To kick things off, I'd like to welcome you, our guest of honor, the business community. We have more than 100 Charleston County-based companies in attendance this afternoon, including more than 200 guests. It's often been said that economic development is a team sport, and I've got an extensive network of allies I need to thank. They include economic development agencies, educators, workforce training entities. Many of these are noted on the slide, and if that slide makes you dizzy, it makes me dizzy too. And that's not even the entire line of folks we work with. But again, thank you to all of these folks. One of our key competitive strengths is also our pro-business approach, and that takes great teamwork among the various government agencies. This includes our municipalities, our countywide elected officials, our state representatives and state agencies, and our federal delegation. So many thanks to all of them. We look forward to continuing the successful partnership together. And our host for today is Charleston County Council, and they consider job creation to be mission number 1. Over the past 29 years, the unwavering support of Charleston County Council has been crucial to the success of our economic development mission. We consider that our work at the county is never really done as we try to help our companies overcome challenges and create more and better jobs. With Charleston County Council, we were anticipating Council Member Jenny Honeycutt. She in attendance. Our theme for this year for the luncheon is a workforce training for tomorrow. And this theme is very fitting because over the last 2 years, we've seen some far-reaching changes in the workplace. We marked an historic milestone last year as a county, helping your companies announce more than 3,200 new jobs. This was the second largest number of jobs created in our county since the mission was created back in 1993. And it was second only to the year that Boeing arrived in 2009. Coming in the middle of the COVID pandemic, we were really very surprised initially. But as we looked at the data and realized the consumer spending trends that were in play, it became less surprising. Our 21 announcements were spread across the entire economic spectrum, from major national corporations and also included many locally owned businesses that were expanding. But these companies and yours all had one thing in common. You were struggling with the strangest workforce landscape any of us had ever encountered. Some are calling it the Great Resignation. But whatever you want to call it, it's a convergence of several workplace trends that are unprecedented in our history. Last year, our department began addressing several needs in the workforce world. The need for citizens to readily identify employment and training opportunities, the need for your companies to find new employees, the need for collaboration between your companies and K-12, our local technical colleges, and our universities to create a better talent pipeline. So we rolled up our sleeves and began to engage deeper with you, the existing industry, to uncover workforce solutions. It began for us with a simple act of listing all of our job openings on our departmental website and beginning to push out that information. We also partnered with the Charleston County Public Library System and began meeting with job hunting citizens at the various branches to try to match up job and training opportunities based upon their skill set. And that's a collaboration with citizens that will continue on into 2022, and we will broaden that. We've also taken initial steps to help form relationships between your companies and the 3 new centers for advanced studies. These are exciting state-of-the-art career training facilities created by the Charleston County School District. You'll be hearing a little bit more about these as our panel commences. We were also collaborating with Private Tech on a variety of initiatives, including the South Carolina Aerospace Center. And lastly, we began support this year for various efforts by the College of Charleston to grow its information technology and engineering programs and degree offerings. And we're elated with that partnership and the fruit that has already borne. So despite all the current challenges, all of you have demonstrated your confidence in our community and its workforce. And this workforce panel today, I think, will demonstrate to you several examples of how our community is building the talent pipeline for tomorrow. In just a moment, I'm going to show a 2020 highlight video, and I'll be calling on Jennifer Brown to give you an update on our 2021 projects. But let me first tell you a quick story and make an introduction. Breeze Airways' entry into the Charleston market is an amazing story. Literally forming their company and launching service during the pandemic. Just one short year later, they have already closed the gap for Charleston by providing non-stop flights to many significant unserved markets. The entry of new carriers and new routes truly transforms our air service profile, affecting frequency of service, additional destinations, and with all of this, the bottom line is reduced in cost for business flyers, visitors, and residents. We at Charleston County Economic Development were excited to have the opportunity to work with Breeze Airlines alongside our partners at Explore Charleston and the Charleston County Aviation Authority. At this time, I'd like to invite Eric Fletcher, Director of Legal and Corporate Affairs for Breeze, to come up and provide an update on their activities.
Hello, I'm Eric Fletcher, and as I was introduced, the Director of Legal and Corporate Affairs for Breeze Airways. And that title may just confuse you because it confuses me. I still try to figure out what I do. But part of it entails going to communities and actually explaining the value of an additional airline or what new air services bring. One of the best things about this community is I became entirely useless because this community already gets it top to bottom. They see the value that an airline can bring in bringing in additional tourists. They see the value that having a new nonstop can mean that company in potentially opening up a headquarters or a second headquarters. So when we had our startup last year, we were starting our airline. We were looking for places to fly, and Breeze Airways aims to be unique. Our CEO is a serial airline entrepreneur. His name is David Needleman. Most famous in the States for previously starting JetBlue, but he'd go around the globe. He's got successes, other airlines there. But he wanted to come back to the United States to start another airline because mid-sized cities, Charleston being one of them, have been often, in terms of airlines, left behind. The big airlines have consolidated. We could run through, United and Continental joining up, Southwest and AirTran, Northwest and Delta, and this trend has just made more and more airlines try to force people to fly through their hubs. And when you fly through your hubs, the fares have often gone up, and who's been, the one who loses there lots of times, cities like Charleston, whether they're thriving or not. So, going back to our CEO, his idea was to fill this niche. And also to help fill it, then he got very early on in a new aircraft type, the Airbus 220, which can very efficiently fly all the way across the country. Lots of times, the longer you you fly, the bigger the plane has to be able to do it efficiently. He got in early with a bunch of these planes, and he said, I'm going to connect these, thriving mid-sized cities that are all too often underserved now. And so we announced 14 routes from here earlier this year, and that was just with the Embraers, our first plane type. We don't even have these super efficient planes in operation yet. That'll be closer to April or May of this year. But long story short, don't want to take too long. I wanted to say thank you to this community for getting it. Thank you for embracing our air service in the middle of the pandemic. We thought we were coming in at the end. We know it's going to still keep going. And then more to come. Everyone check back or watch in the next few weeks when we actually announce the routes that will be flying with those new planes. And as we said, they fly transcon really, really well. So you can look to the left side of the United States. But once again, just wanted to say thank you to the community, Steve and crew, the airport with Elliot and Gary, as well as Ellen with the tourism agencies. So thank you so much, and thanks for hosting Breeze Airways in your community.
And because it's such a special program each year, it really is truly because of the audience. Everyone in this room is an existing company across Charleston County, or a service provider or an ally that we work with. And so it's great to see you all here. And the companies here in this room represent every facet of our economy. We have logistics, aerospace, automotive, advanced manufacturing, IT, and life sciences. At each of your tables, you'll find our current annual report. It's hot off the press, and no lie, they were printed earlier this week. So take this home with you. And as you just saw in our awesome highlight video, 2021 was a tremendous year. We had those 21 public announcements, capital investment exceeded more than $165 million, more than 3,200 new jobs, which as Steve noted was the second best year for job creation since our department was founded, which is really impressive. These relocations and expansions added over $157 million to our new annual payroll to our regional economy. We'd like to thank these companies again for choosing to locate and expand in Charleston County. Raymont Logistics, Nomadic Software, T-Mobile, Mercedes-Benz Vans, NCD, Born Group, Breeze Airways, Charleston Coffee Roasters, Cummins Turbo Technologies, Your Crawl Space, Grey Ghost Bakery, TELUS International, The Home Depot, Argent Air Express, Elbit Systems of America, Barzan Aeronautical, Canterbury Beverage Company, E-Volt, Beyond Distilling Company, BellyMed Life Science, and Ability Trimodal. There are representatives here from those companies. If you would please stand so we can give you a round of applause. Thank you. So 21 and 21. Will this year bring 22 projects? What a challenge that would be. Looking at Jay Kramer, my teammate, so we'll see what we can do. Steve noted that economic development is a team sport. It is truly evident as we work our recruitment and our expansion projects. And we greatly value all of our allies and partnerships with those who help us bring each project to the finish line. Notably, over half of these public announcements involve expansions by existing Charleston County companies. A main effort of our team is to retain and support the existing businesses already located here. We do this through our business concierge program, and our project manager diligently focuses on our existing industry is Jay Kramer. Here's Jay to tell you more.
Good afternoon. It's great to see everyone in person today. Charleston County's existing industries continue to accelerate, and your stories continue to impress. The accolades you see up on the screen are just a glimpse of what Charleston County companies have accomplished this past year. We are extremely proud of our existing industries and remain dedicated to helping fuel your growth here in Charleston County. This past year marked more than 250 interactions with existing companies. Our business concierge team continues to work seamlessly with all of our regional and statewide allies to provide resources and tools so that each company can reach its full potential. We assisted with workforce development and facilitated business expansion opportunities at every corner of the county. Thank you to our economic development partners that are in the room today. So let's recap 2021 in terms of business retention and expansion. 11 existing companies announced expansions totaling over 1,100 new jobs and more than $114 million in capital investment. We witnessed outstanding growth from our logistics businesses, the tech sector, and the life sciences industry. We expect an equally vibrant 2022. We continue to play an active role in short-term and long-term workforce development initiatives, such as job fairs and STEM programs, to bridge educators to industry. We worked to connect businesses to the brand new Centers for Advanced Studies, promoting these excellent new resources across the county. In our panel discussion today, Chad Bale from Charleston County School District will catch us up to speed on their Centers for Advanced Studies and some of their exciting offerings. Tri-County STEM Merchant, now in its 5th year, offers select middle and high school teachers the opportunity to interface with industry leaders in a 2-week summer program. The teachers visit multiple companies across Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester counties, building lesson plans that incorporate the skills that employers require for tomorrow's workforce. Let me extend a grand thank you to the Charleston County companies that participate in the Tri-County STEM Merchant Program annually. Boeing, Ingredion, Ingevity, Lincoln Electric, Renfro Industrial, and the Urban Electric Company. Programs like STEM Merchant and businesses involved in the Centers for Advanced Studies continue to augment our region's long-term talent pipeline. Existing industries are our number one priority. No challenge is too large or question too small for our team to tackle. We value the working relationships we've made with you, and we thank you for your partnership. We look forward to seeing you in 2022 and helping fuel your success. So now we'll recognize 3 companies that were winners of the Charleston County Industry Impact Awards. These companies have shown a dedication not only to their profits, but to their people and the place they call home, Charleston County. More on each of these companies is detailed in our annual report in each of your place settings. We're proud of all the companies who are nominated this year. It was certainly a tough decision to select winners. For the small business category, the 2021 winner is Charleston Coffee Roasters. Beyond delivering the world's finest coffees and sustaining double-digit business growth, Charleston Coffee Roasters enthusiastically supports sustainable global farming practices and is highly engaged with the South Carolina Aquarium Sea Turtle Hospital. You'll notice the turtle is even an important part of the company logo. This past year, they partnered with the Disabilities Board of Charleston County, hiring 2 individuals to help with box assembly. Founder Lowell Gross is here to accept the award. Congratulations to Charleston Coffee Roasters. For the medium-sized business category, the 2021 winner is Steve's Towing Company. Their investment in a multi-year shipyard expansion program positions them well for continued growth in the maritime industry. Stevens completed a stunning renovation of the historic Young's Island Post Office building for the new headquarters and received this prestigious Carolopoulos Award for historic preservation. Stevens continues to show leadership with their welder apprenticeship program. Since 2017, 23 students have participated in the shipyard welding program. The instructor, William Holmes, a 30-year employee of Stevens Towing, a Baptist Hill High School graduate and Vietnam veteran, recently won an award from the American Welding Society for elevating the industry in his community. Johnson Stevens is here to accept the award. Congratulations to Stevens Towing. For the large size business category, the 2021 winner of the Charleston County Industry Impact Award is Charles River Laboratories. Operating over 115,000 square feet of sustainably powered laboratory and manufacturing space, Charles River has shown a commitment to local sourcing through local suppliers and participated with many local philanthropic organizations. Charles River's nature conservation efforts in partnerships with state and federal wildlife agencies have ensured the health of wildlife ecosystems in South Carolina and along the greater East Coast. With plans to invest $20 million in a new administrative building in West Ashley, creating an additional 100 jobs in the process, Charles River has shown a continued commitment to Charleston and the state of South Carolina. Ian Jester is here to accept the award. Congratulations to Charles River.
Thank you, Jay, and congratulations again to our company award winners. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome our panelists and our moderator to the stage. If you will. Come up. Our moderator today is Elizabeth Colbert Bush, Economic Development Advisor to the President Elizabeth works to assess business and academic partnerships, along with research grant opportunities. Previously, an economic development ally with Clemson University Restoration Institute, we welcome Elizabeth at Tri-Tech as we continue our allied efforts, linking businesses with education and training. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jennifer. Good afternoon, everybody. It's really great to be back, isn't it? So good to see everyone. Absolutely round of applause. That's wonderful. I am so glad to see everybody here, and I want to start this off, if it's okay with you all. I have a trivia question. One answer. Who in this room, for a box of mint chocolates on your table, with a skill it up, can name the third largest college in the state of South Carolina? Trident Technical College. You are sitting in the room for the third largest college in the state of South Carolina. I'm very proud to be able to say that, which obviously is an impact on economic development. So I have the pleasure of being an economic development advisor to the institution here, and wanted to just say a couple of things about Trident Tech, and then we'll roll on to our wonderful distinguished panelists. Trident Technical College and Charleston County Economic Development work together very closely, as all of you know. We work closely in working with developing assets, bridging academic opportunities, working on government affairs, and working together to build the workforce for Charleston County. Two examples, as one Steve's already mentioned, and that's the South Carolina Aeronautical Training Center. Thank you very much. And the other one y'all are probably very familiar with is our nursing school. Right? So we're really very pleased. So a couple other things we also do in conjunction with each other is we have enrollment programs, and we have Melissa Stowall's groups here, and our apprenticeships that we do. We collaborate with MUSC. We have bridge programs with the College of Charleston and the Citadel. We have early college on our campus, and the list goes on and on. And one of the last things I really wanted to bring up about is our apprenticeship program, because many of you in here have been our partners in the apprenticeship program. And one of them was already mentioned. Jay, where are you? He's moved around. Stevens Towing, Tig-Dicto, Lincoln Electric. Thank you very much, Jesse. Home Telecom, Turbo, and the list goes on. And if I missed anybody, I apologize, but thank you so much. We'd love to have more of you all as apprentice partners. So we are very excited. Today you're going to hear from three of our academic and industry partners. The first one is Jesse Wilson. And Jesse Wilson is the plant manager for Lincoln Electric Company, one of our apprenticeship partners. Thank you. Jesse oversees daily operations for Lincoln Electric for production and manufacturing, and Lincoln Electric is the world leader in the design, development, and manufacturing of welding and cutting solutions. Welcome, Jesse. Thank you for being here for me. And then we have Howard White, who we're very good friends with, and we cohabitate the Aeronautical Training Center together. And Howard is the project director of the Division of Economic Development for the South Carolina Technical College System. Did I get that right? Okay, good, because I looked right on the website. Howard works to promote economic development in South Carolina by providing customized recruiting and training solutions to companies bringing new jobs to the state through relocation and expansion. And lastly but not least, we have Chad Dale, Charleston County School District. He's work-based learning partnership coordinator. Chad connects students with career exploration opportunities like job shadowing, internships, apprenticeships, and together working with 10 of his career specialists, they empower over 50,000 students and empower 50,000 plus students at 80 schools and programs. I get that right? That's a lot.
Sounds pretty good.
It's pretty close, right? Great. Well, thank you all for being here. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell you what the topic is about today. And the topic is about building the workforce and what needs to be done, how we're unified in doing this. And at the end of the day, the last question I would like you gentlemen to think about as we close out this panel what do we need, what do we need more of, and what may be missing. So basically, what's the need? Where's the gap? What's the need? Okay? All right, so let's roll the dice here. Howard, let's start with you. You're in the middle. Let's do that, okay? Can you give us some examples of companies you've worked with, the types of positions you help them fill, and how they engage with Ready SC?
Okay, I guess I'll start with the last part of that first, Elizabeth. How we engage with companies, every way you can think of, I guess, is the best answer for that. But we are connected and work very closely with the Department of Commerce, directly out of Columbia. We also work with the Charleston Regional Development Alliance, and of course with our great partners, Charleston County Economic Development. And so it really doesn't matter to us how we get brought into the picture, but the important thing is to bring us into the picture so that we can help in any way possible and help a company, as Elizabeth mentioned, either getting off to a great start with their new hire employees for a company that is relocating to the state of Charleston, or expanding. A lot of you guys here in the room right now may have recently or looking for opportunities to get help in expansion. And so those are things that we can help with. And last but not least, I have a card in my pocket. That's the way we need to engage, and we can do that too. But we're happy to help in any way we can. Not just the services that we can provide, but we're very plugged in throughout the state on folks that can help. Whether it's the Department of Employment and Workforce, SC Works, Technical College here locally, as Elizabeth mentioned, tremendous assets here, right in Charleston County that are available to everyone. So that's kind of how we do it. And me specifically, I started out working with Barton Global here in the Tri-County area. That soon morphed into this company called Boeing. And I've been working with them since 2009. Additionally, we're currently working with Thorn Research, Cummins Automotive, Scout Boats, just the list goes on and on. There are two other colleagues that I work directly with, Elizabeth Jablonski and Terrence Rivers, and we all three share the responsibility in the Tri-County area. Our services are available to any company. I think the smallest company we're working with has 6 employees, and the largest recruitment going on right now is probably 4,000, the largest company we're working with. So, and everybody in between. So that's kind of an example of the companies we're working with. And primarily, our model is focused on entry-level employees. And so, anecdotally, what qualifies for an entry-level employee? Somebody that can walk into your doors after we've provided training, that can help contribute to your bottom line, help manufacture your widget, whatever that might be, work with minimal supervision, and work safely. And that's kind of our goal.
Howard, that really brings up another follow-up question that was going to be later on, but this is to all three of you, based on what Howard just shared with us. We're talking about employee recruitment and employee retention. So whether we hold on to them or we expand them, and the retention in particular, and development, career development is very important. Can all of you speak to this? And the question is, employee recruitment and employee retention both can make or break this organization, right? Which is more important? Do you think it's the retention or the recruitment? Jesse, why don't you start?
Sure. I think in our experience, I think it's got to be what we find, particularly my area of focus is in the skilled labor, and we just find that there's just not that many candidates out there. I've got some people just this month who have retired out, and we're having a hard time getting people back into those, and it kind of speaks to why we've done the apprenticeship program. But our approach is we're looking for some folks with what we call soft skills. Right? Can you solve problems? Can you work through issues? Can you overcome obstacles? Those types of things. We can give technical skills. So I think that's actually an easy one. So we've had a really difficult time finding good candidate pools to recruit from.
So you're saying?
Yes, I think that's the more important side of it, it's based on experience.
Well, I think that it's relationships, obviously. I think it's recruitment in our K-12 system all the way, P20 really. And through building relationships, as you mentioned, the youth apprenticeships, you can do a temp to perm model where you get to know a student or a new hire and build a relationship of trust and accountability and see how they do in your system and how they perform. And they might pivot to something else, that's okay. The apprenticeship is not a permanent situation, but at least they see it and they can take it as an asset, and it rises the rest of our community as they take that experience with them. So relationships, your question, retention, yes, but recruitment first. Recruitment, reaching down, and think about, I think anybody ever heard of Duke University? I got a good basketball coach, right? I think he's getting ready to finish his tenure. He goes into the high school system and he finds the best players. That's how he builds a program, and he retains them, right? Same kind of thing. We as a community have an amazing opportunity to reach into our K-12 system, and of course the Trinitech and the whole preparation and talent pool, and build those relationships and offer the opportunities. And I think that if we do that, we can really build a talent pipeline.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. You can't ever get to retention unless you get the recruitment part right. Elizabeth Jablonski and I were talking a little bit about this morning, kind of to your point with soft skills, Jesse. It's not so much necessarily experience as ability. If they have those soft skills, they want to learn and they're willing to learn, then that's what organizations like us, Trinitech College, can help.
Elizabeth, I'll add.
Please do. Go ahead.
Well, on the soft skills notion, our 3 Center for Advanced Studies are open. We do have our 16 comprehensive high schools, the regional career center support. We do have a soft skills specific program that has students going out credentialed in addition to the pathway credentials that might be a welding credential or a serve safe credential for a culinary arts type student. And I want to make sure you know that that's our priority as well, because it's not the first time, and we all look around the room and say, gosh, I hope our next employees have better soft skills. We're aware in K-12, and I know that that's a priority, and we're working very hard to ensure we give them that specific skill set.
Right, when we talk about recruitment, there are all different ways to recruit, right? And so we have all different angles of how you can recruit. And one of them, again, we go back to apprenticeships. All right, so Jesse, on the panel, since you're here, would you go ahead and share with us your experience with the apprenticeship program?
Sure. Just a little background on how we got into the apprenticeship program is that we're a small company, we're a small site, so we don't have the need to create like a pipeline of employees. But when we started to learn about the apprenticeship program, what we really saw is that we wanted to kind of play a role in overall workforce development for the skilled trades. And so we looked at it as a kind of a community outreach where you've got what I think, biased as I might be, good opportunities in manufacturing in the skilled area, but you just don't have a lot of kids and people that know about that. So this was like our way of kind of playing our role in raising that awareness. And so we brought in, we've had 2 apprentices now, it's been really great. We've tried to match their curriculum, what they're doing in school, to what we are doing here to get kind of real life experience, so they can realize that, you're not going to get sucked into a machine, or, there's good opportunities. Manufacturing is not this old, dirty, dangerous job that it may have been in the very distant past. But it's been very successful for us. The kids, I think it's really opened their eyes. We've got 2 kids that were non-college bound, and they've had a really good experience so far. We actually did hire one, and he went from wanting to be a machinist to not wanting to be a machinist to being, we hired him as a programmer, and now he said, no, I actually want to go to college now. So now he's back to Middle Tennessee State, and that was really successful for us. So we hated to lose him. He was a great apprentice. He was a great employee for a year, and now we're waiting to see his college figures. He sends them back to us. But and we have an industrial mechanic apprentice the same way. He's been in. He's got his hands on machines, and he's got his hands on light bulbs, and it's been really good.
It feels good for him. He feels good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a homeschool kid. He just didn't really know where he wanted to go. He wasn't college bound at the time. Who knows? Maybe he will be after this, but it's been really good.
That's wonderful. That's great testimonial for the apprenticeship program. Chad, here's one for you. Why should businesses get involved with the Centers for Advanced Studies, and what are some of the specific ways employers can do that?
Why? I'm going to scoot forward my chair. Who here has all the employees they need? Please put your hand up. I'm not seeing any hands, and I knew that would happen. Because we have to work together as a community. We have to make sure that our students know the good news about the opportunities that await them right here in Charleston and many highway pathways. And the school district had the vision a long time ago. It takes a long time to do capital investment, as you know, and put millions and millions of dollars in new infrastructure. And two of those new buildings and one existing building that we're utilizing are Center for Advanced Study Career Centers. So these career centers really are aligned with our talent demands in our community and trying to bridge that gap. And I want to direct you to the tabletop. There's a list of the programs at each of the centers, and these are regional career centers, and they serve all students that choose to attend them in our district. Now, some of you might be aware of special programs like Academic Dining or School of the Arts, SOA we call it. And they have their own track. That's fine if the student elects to be in that high school path. But the majority of the students in our community are in a traditional high school, and they came elementary, middle, high, and they can go to our Center for Advanced Study Career Centers and focus on getting certified, being what's called a completer in a 3 or 4 course program of studies, and having that as a competitive edge as they exit. So that's the good news from our community's infrastructure and kind of the backbone of what's possible. The good news for the students is, of course, their talent is in demand. We have to share that. So what can you do? You can interact and engage with us, and I can't get any flyer or anything, has my contact information and the website. It's a single day all the way to a 2-year apprenticeship. It could be as much as little as you want. A single day might be you come in and share the good news as a guest speaker, either virtually or now we can welcome you in person. We have a summary of how to do that to keep it efficient and tight. You don't want to, the attention span of a 15-year-old. I have one that lives in my house, it's pretty short. And so I want to encourage you to leverage those investments, and let's work together to create a talent pipeline that extends into, of course, Trident Tech, the 4-year programs, all the other assets that we get to have in our community. And I'm here to do it. And I hope that, I got your question.
Great, but what you're saying, and I wanted to bring up some of the kind of blending it all together, what all three of you have said is there is a difference in cultural generational attitude towards manufacturing. That's different today than it was. And this, I'm going to finish this and round it up for you all to take a stab at it, okay? So you have this culture, you have to have this cultural mindset change, right? And that's happening. I mean, this is, we're looking at advanced manufacturing, we're looking at cybersecurity, we're looking at IT, we're looking at aeronautics, we're looking at drones and space, and we're looking at all these things that have to be manufactured. So we're looking at all this, and so you have these students who start with their high school, they do the apprenticeship, they're doing ready SC, they're doing all this. But there's this issue about compensation. So this is a delicate topic, obviously, but we need to address compensation. There's this, do you all feel that there is this difference between what people think their compensation will be coming, through more of a technical side versus what's the issue with the compensation besides are they being paid enough? So compensation, let's talk about that for a second. Nobody wants to talk about compensation.
I can comment on that, and then compensation, obviously that's a factor when you're at your counselor's office and you're doing your individual graduation plan each year as a rising 8th, 11th, 12th grade or whatever it is, talking about where your trajectory is, where you're headed. But our career specialists and our counselors and our educators also talk about return on investment. And we've had a paradigm shift that was already happening before the pandemic, and it's only accelerated that every kid that didn't go to college, a 4-year traditional, what I happen to have gone through. And I think that the return on investment that you can outline for a student, taking whatever pathway is right for them, is a very important thing, and maybe keeping more of those wages they earn without the debt associated with many 4-year degrees right now. In some cases, and it's called an individual graduation plan for a reason. Everybody has their own path. I happen to have one in college myself, and I've got covered all the bases on this personally. But we have to look at all the options. And from the good news is now more than ever, students are seeing those options. And you mentioned manufacturing. They understand that that's something that can be a very high demand, high wage job, and they can prepare themselves at the CAS. All that.
So yeah, to build on what you're saying there, Chad, is that, we've had the opportunity to go out and speak to some high schools and talk to kids that might take this track. And when you show them the wage of these entry-level jobs and even some of the next steps, they kind of, okay, But then when you start to expand out and you talk about compensation in total, we have 2 slides that we really show them that starts to pique people's interest. And the first one is tuition reimbursement. So just because you take an entry-level manufacturing job doesn't mean you're destined to stay there. You can get tuition reimbursement, you can move up, those types of things, and we'll help you, we'll help pay for that. So that starts to pique their interest. And the other one that I think is really funny is the 401k benefit. So we show what happens if you start now versus even starting 4 years later. We have this great slide that says, you'll be a millionaire here. Well, everybody wants to be a millionaire. It's we have a decent 401k program. And so when you combine all 3 of those things and then you throw in some decent work environment, that type of thing starts to get people interested from an overall compensation standpoint, not just the $18 to $20 an hour.
So it's what's your definition of compensation, right? It's what was coming.
Exactly.
And I would just add, not so much directly on compensation, but to your comment, Elizabeth, about a cultural paradigm shift. Jesse and I were talking about this before the event started. Manufacturing is not what a lot of people still, the shift is on, but still think what manufacturing is. I mean, these facilities are clean, they're safe, they're bright, they're great places to work, and not just getting it into the kids at the school, but the kids' parents. That's where it started. And so that's, at least, Chad, I know you can speak better to that, but we got to get mom and dad on board before we get, junior on board.
Really, really good point. Did you want to add to that?
Well, and absolutely, and I learned this at a conference I attended not long ago. This generation, the predominant question is, where do I want to live? Not what job do I want to have? And what lifestyle do I want in that place that I want to live? And hello, Charleston's gaining a lot of those professionals because they choose to live here, then find a job. I've heard that from many.
There used to be the expression back in our parents' day, or even mine, you live to work. Now you, the other way. The other way. You got it with it. And so, because, especially with new technology and everything, there's so many different opportunities. There's this, I guess this is a statistic, saying that the average number of jobs a student will have after they graduate is, I think, 15 now. I think the number's pretty significant.
Growing.
Is that right?
And growing is, just the speed at which things are moving, and it's how many jobs can you think of right now that didn't exist when you were in high school?
Yeah.
Many, many.
It's true. It's very true. Okay, so let's talk a bit about for all of you. So, from your perspective, how should companies position themselves to look at their long-term goals for workforce development? Jesse, why don't you start? How should you position yourself?
Well, again,
It's competitive, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And again, our focus is the skilled trade. That's where we're doing most of our hiring there. And so thinking about the best endpoints, you just got to find some ways to get candidates that have those soft skills. Find the pipelines for there, partner with it. One of the things we try to do is partner with a high school so we have a more regular interaction with folks that might have these soft skills, kind of partner with teachers. But I think if companies can find those and we can work together to create these candidate pools, I think the hard skills are easier. I may be in the minority there, but we hire mostly machinists. So we can teach somebody how to be a machinist. We can't teach them how to resolve problems and those types of things. So we can find those candidate pools. Best.
Or how about you?
And I would just say, that's the part where retention is gonna come in after the fact. Get them in the door first, the most important recruitment. But training up front, and many companies, new startup companies that we work with, just moving into the area, are not willing to invest time in the training, which presents a problem at the back end. But it's also not just training; it's investing time in that employee, make them feel wanted, make them feel part of your organization, train them how to do their job to make them successful.
So it's about relevance, and you have to really, this generation, have the why. And I think, for your question, what can we do as a community? And the pandemic interrupted this, granted, but we need to welcome students that have a natural curiosity into the workplace, be it a manufacturer or whatever it is, means to work here. And that could look like a single-day structured field study, we call it. Essentially, a bus comes and takes the kids and shows them for a couple hours. And you can make it as interactive as you want. Of course, we can help with that. To a single-day job shadow, when you have them come over for 3-4 hours and really get a little deeper into that. And it could go into an internship that's only 3 or 4 months, but allows them to really get a deeper dive. And one more I'll throw out. It's because summer's coming up. Oh, wait, can you believe it's February already? Oh, come on. But summer, we're going to do career camps again. And these career camps are going to be in our Centers for Advanced Studies, and they're going to use our makerspace and all the other amazing things that are present there. And these summer career camps, we can partner with you to focus on the career that you want to develop. So that's a little commercial. And I was just reminded something that's pretty important. We got to partner with Charleston County Economic Development. And see the centerpieces on your table, the logo? Those were 3D printed by students from the West Ashley Center for Advanced Studies. So it's pretty cool, and a great community partnership for that brand new facility. West Ashley serving Davisville High School and St. John's High School, and of course West Ashley on that campus. And I believe we have a video that I'd love to show y'all real quick.
All right.
Thanks.
My name is Emily Taylor. I am a student at the West Ashley CES building. I'm in the class of electronics, and I will be finishing it this year to be double completed by the time I graduate. I learned it through our makerspace teacher, Ms. Otas. She came to me and she's like, "Hey, would you like to help me work on this?" And I'm very excited and said yes. I first thought about like having some nice resin pouring, and they have like some nice stained lights in there, but like, oh, that would be cool if we had some like transparent resin and you could add individual colors to it. So you do some of the resin actually. And to make this, it's just held together with 2 pegs. They're in the stand, they're glued together. Each piece is printed separately. It's almost a sense of relief when it finally comes together and you know that they're going to be happy on the tables and everyone's going to see them. You know, they're always signed. It's actually something that I'm going into as my future career, so I'm excited to like already be starting and you know, becoming better with it. And you always learn something whenever you're doing a project, so it was a good learning experience and just exciting to be able to see it. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, that looks so nice.
Not bad, huh?
That's very cool.
Who wants to hire Emily?
Everybody. All right, so everybody, it's time to close. Thank you so much for your attention. Wanted to just mention a couple things. If any of these resources that you've seen from Private Tech or ASC or the Center for Advanced Studies are of interest to any of you at all, please know that we have our business concierge team, which would be Jennifer Brown and Jay Kramer. Wonderful job you all did with this. Thank you very much. And kudos to you all. And then in closing, we have 3 things that I heard you all say. To position yourselves, you need to have parent awareness. We need to have invest in time and effort for the long term, and look at the academic across the entire sector, across every portion of education. And again, thank you all very much. Please a hand for our panelists.
Well, thank you to our panelists, and thank you, Elizabeth, for being such a good moderator. We really appreciate it. Such impressive work coming out of the school system, too. We were able to have a chance to work with them. And by the way, when this event breaks up, feel free to draw straws for the different 3D logos at your tables. It's my distinct pleasure at this point to be able to announce the winner of the 2021 Ambassador for Economic Development Award. This is an award, some of you that have attended previous years, you know that we treat this award very seriously from year to year. We ask two questions. Who has moved the needle for economic development in the Charleston region? And who's made lasting contributions, what we would call game changers? And this year, as co-owners of High Wire Distilling in Charleston, I think you can best describe Scott Blackwell and Ann Marshall as the dynamic duo. High Wire Distillery was founded out of a desire to introduce small batch handmade craft spirits to South Carolina. Ann's agricultural background and connections throughout the state have positioned High Wire to be able to source raw materials from local farmers. And this commitment to sourcing local ingredients is evidenced, best evidenced in their Jimmy Red project, which has helped to revitalize that heritage corn known as Jimmy Red. Scott heads up the South Carolina Craft Distillers Guild, and during 2021, he successfully advocated for the Micro Distillery Parity Act in the General Assembly. It was no small feat, but he persisted against the odds, and today more than 30 permitted distilleries across South Carolina are treated similarly to breweries and wineries. The law has complexities, but in short, passage of this law was a game changer for distilleries statewide. To give you some perspective, during the first year of COVID, distilleries found their revenue down 90%. So they were on the mat, so to speak. But this law ensures that distilleries will experience more regular hours of operation and more full-time employment for workers. This legislative feat, as impressive as it was, doesn't begin to describe the personal commitment that this couple has to our community. Scott and Ann worked tirelessly at connecting fellow distillers, chefs, and culinary counterparts across the state, and they're renowned for offering a helping hand to startup distilleries, the food and beverage industry, and also for encouraging the sourcing of local ingredients. South Carolina Made is a proud stamp on their product. And as High Wire Distilling grows, we're proud to have Scott Blackwell and Ann Marshall right here in our backyard. At this time, I'd like to ask Scott and Ann to join me. Congratulations once again. We're going to adjourn in a few minutes, but before we do, we've got a couple of additional items to cover quickly. If I can get Jay Kramer to join me.
Thank you, Steve. So we have a couple of giveaways from a few Charleston County companies today from our business card drop we did out back. If you're a winner, we've got a few. Just come to the stage to see us at the stage after. We've got the giveaways up here for you. So first up, we've got a variety pack of kettle cooked potato chips from Low Country Kettle. Andrew and Clayton are working to make their chips the official chip of the state of South Carolina, and they feature state-inspired flavors like spicy pimento cheese and State Fair fried pickle. So we've got a couple of winners, Walt Miller from Vintelli and Deshaun Wiley. Next up, we've got a gift pack, beautiful gift pack, smells great. Smell the whole office, smells great, from Old Whaling Company. April and her team handcraft wonderful sea-inspired soaps and scrubs and bath bombs. They ship them to retail partners across the country. Check out their storefront on King Street or their website for a great full sensory experience. And the winner of that is Amanda McNeil. So congratulations to you, Amanda. Next, we have a full American flag setup from Allegiance Flag Supply. The flags are made right here, right off Dorchester Road in Charleston. Highest quality materials and craftsmanship, and a neat mounting system that keeps the flags from ever tangling. So that's pretty great. You don't know you need one until you have one. They're awesome. So the winner of that is Dr. Cephas Simmons from Steel Cap. Congratulations to you. Next up, we've got a 12-inch skillet from Smithy Ironware. They're hand forged and machined and finished here in North Charleston. You've probably seen or heard or read about them. They're naturally non-stick, beautiful and functional. Also, do not drop them on your feet, they hurt. David Hood at Orbis is the winner of that, so congratulations to you, David. Last up, we've got two pairs of tickets from Breeze Airways. Fly to any of Breeze Airways destinations across the U.S. with this pair of tickets. First winner is Sherry Barnes at Oakland Medical. And then Mike Kowal at Life Industries. So congratulations. If we didn't choose your business card out of the business card drop, don't worry, we're all winners. We all have amazing sets of cookies at the table from Craigos Bakery. They're baked right in West Ashley from our friends at Craigos, so thank you to them. Another big thank you to Low Country Kettle, Old Whaling Company, Allegiance Flag Supply, Smithy Ironware, and Breeze Airways for donating these items.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. Appreciate all the folks that contributed to those prizes. Literally no one goes home empty-handed today. I'm going to close out with a couple of last thoughts. We enter 2022 inspired by the economic growth and our resilience as a community through what's been a pretty tough time with the virus as well as political and economic uncertainty. We're absolutely thrilled with the new job figures and rankings that we just shared a little earlier, but the success of Charleston County is shown not just in numbers, but in our unique and inspiring stories. These stories form the unique fabric that makes us Charleston. Our department mission statement is to lead the advancement of economic growth and shared prosperity across Charleston County. Our strategic plan emphasizes economic inclusion, and we won't rest until the benefits of our area's growth are felt across a wider cross-section of the public. It's all about extending opportunity, and I think you can see from our panel today that this effort is underway in earnest. Despite the headwinds that we have, we will look forward to another year in 2022. I'd like to thank several groups of people. I think at this point I'd love to thank my staff, and I'll call their names. Ashley Richardson, Jen Brown, Reggie Fuller, Jay Kramer, KK Sherrill, and Janelle Spencer. Thank you so much. They had a very busy 2021, and we're thinking 2022 will hold much of the same for us, but couldn't be working with a better economic development department. I'd like to thank County Council and Councilwoman Honeycutt. Thank you for being here. Always appreciate your support. Our economic development allies, many of whom are in the room today, and obviously you are existing companies. It's you that we're here to serve. And thank you so much for the support. So with that, I'll adjourn us and have a great year.
It was a pleasure.